We're recording.
600 MD laminator. The machine is used for multi-directional purposes. You got a hot side and a cold side. I want to show you a couple of the functions and everything, capabilities the machine has, and just go through the machine itself. On the front side, we're working with the on the hot side, the main side of the machine. On your control panel, you have your main downward air pressure gauge, which can be adjusted just by just turning this to add PSI to the machine for your upward downward. This is your up down for your roller switch. Our shim wheels is our height setting. Right here, we're at the maximum position right now. We would set it to 0, which we could run it to close the rollers on each end, like that. We're going to turn it. We could turn like that. We would then come back to our switch, flip our switch, and the roller will come down to the 0 position. There's various height settings all the way up to 1 inch, depending on how we do it. What we're running, depending on the substrate, anything from flexible material to rigid materials up to 1 inch. And to go back up, just flip the switch again, and the roller will rise back to the maximum position. On our control panel, we have our speed setting, which is right here. And the way to adjust your speed is actually on the top of the machine. Is your dial here to go up, just increase, to go back down, just turn it back down. And our arrows to run, because it's a bidirectional machine, we can run either way. So to run through the hot rollers, we would hit the green arrow on this one, pointing through the heated rollers to run it, and to stop, we would just hit the red button. To come back through, we would, on the cold roller side, which we'll get to, we would hit the opposite arrow, and it would feed it this way towards us to the cold rollers for either mounting or pressure sensitive application. And stop. So, and then below here we have our 2 front side top heated roller settings for the heat. To change, right now we're at Fahrenheit 75 and about 75 degrees on each one. That's our room temperature. The rollers aren't heated right now. To heat them, to set, we would just hit our upward or downward arrow to get a set temperature, and then hit that button to turn on our heat, and it would start to heat up to that setting. Same thing with our bottom, just up or down to set, 200 degrees Fahrenheit, turn on our heat. It takes some time to heat. When we heat, we like to put the rollers together, let them turn together, and so we can get an even heat around the rollers. So I'm going to turn that actually off on each one. And we also, as here, we can see we have a cooling fan switch that we can turn on, which is this. On our front of our rollers, on our heat side, on both sides, we have a front table, which we can just pull a latch at the bottom, bring down to help with webbing, and simply to bring back up, just pull on the release, and it locks back into place. Locks back into place. On our table, one of the features we have is we have a slot in the table, which allows, when feeding media through, to go underneath, and then it pulls it back through the rollers to keep everything from dust getting on, to make it go through the roller straight, to prevent the photo eye from being hit, so we don't have to have an image guide on there, and keep everything flat. So what we would do is we would take our print through here. If we have the machine webbed up, and we would just feed it, slide it through the slot, and it will come back through the rollers. If we had the rollers down, and catch the rollers and take it through. Pull that back out. We also have on our front side, our top and bottom supply shafts are pop-out shafts where they slide cantilever. They slide out to load the media. Makes it pretty simple. With an adjustable brake on here, just slide it, feed the media on, and close it back up. That's on the bottom too, for our bottom supply shaft. And on our final thing on here is our take-up shafts, which are hop on and these will this will work, but to go on to catch our release liner, and our take-up. So what we have here is, on this machine, we have a take-up for the top and the bottom on the front. And also on the back side, we have a top one on the machine standard and an optional bottom one, which is an option to go run off for the bottom also. So we have 3 standard and 1 optional, so option for 4 total take-ups. On the back, these are our cold rollers. Same thing on the front. We would set our rollers. We're at -1/16 on here. Same thing. We would just flip the switch, roller drops, flip the switch, roller rises back up. So for the cold rollers, it's easy way to, if you're running the hot side and you got your rollers heated and you want to go into mounting, or you have a pressure sensitive application, you don't have to let the rollers on the front side cool. You don't have to wait an hour or so for them to cool down. Just come to the back side, web it up opposite, and just run it the opposite way without having to wait, which is a big time saver, and also allows you to keep, if you're running mounting everything, you can just go to the back side and have everything out of the way too. On here, we have a pressure gauge just like on the front, and then on our opposite side, hard to see, we have our pull roller clutch, or pull roll clutch that is adjustable also by air. The machine also features safety, which is emergency stops on both sides, on both the front and back sides, and also a kick strip on the front and the back, the yellow strip, in case the operator is in the middle of the machine and is not have the ability to reach the emergency stops. If their arms are too short and can't reach emergency stops, they can hit the kick switch and that will stop the machine. Is in the middle of the machine and is not have the ability to reach the emergency stops. If their arms are too short and can't reach emergency stops, they can hit the kick switch and that will stop the machine and keep everything safe and for any issues.